it's a tourist town, so there's not like a whole lot of job opportunities to get like better income or better housing. I've actually lived here my whole life, but I came into like a situation where I couldn't live with my parents anymore, so it's just been a big struggle for me to find a place to live now that I'm like out of my parents' house and like I have a job and everything and I work full time, but it's still like not nearly enough to afford anything that's in this town. I just don't get along with them super well.
I come from a really poor county, Coos County. It's like still on the coast. It's like 6 hours south, like towards California. And like I thought I was like not able to afford like $5.50 a month for rent there because I'm only 19 and like working a minimum wage job is really hard. Like it's hard to find, like unless you're in college and like studying something, like people don't really like look at you as a responsible adult. And so I moved down here to like live with my friend, and I'm staying in their basement, and I'm paying $400 to live in a basement right now. So like I'm trying to move and find my own place, and I'm still having to pay like over what I was paying back home, which is a way cheaper county. And so like I kind of like thought moving here was gonna be cheaper to live, and then like I was exploring my options, and then my roommate situation fell through. So like making it on your own like without any help is so hard. It's like pretty much impossible. You have to have a roommate. You have to
have to have a roommate.
Somebody else's income, because you cannot live here
Not
with
by yourself.
one income. Like it's impossible. And I was living in my own 1-bedroom apartment with just my income, and now I have to like I was paying $5.50 there, so now I'm paying $5.50 for like that's split in half between people.
And
so it's like a life.
Some people that I work with that are like well into their like 30s and 40s are having a hard time finding a place to live by themselves, even though they've had like a steady income for like their whole lives. They still have to have like somebody to help them and somebody to live with, just because everything's too expensive.
My only issue is that you can't afford any place to live around here when you're young. But let's say if you live in your van, the cops will come get you and fine you $800 for sleeping in your van, or take you to jail
Like,
for
there's
it.
your
So
rent.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's like you can't afford to live here paying rent, but you also, it's illegal to live anywhere else that you're not paying rent, you know, even if it's your car. So it's like, go to jail or find some way to pay rent, either one, you know?
Yeah. And I met some people from like Texas, and they have like a 5-bedroom house for $900 a month there, and that blew my mind. I was like, how is that even possible? There's like 3 people living in a 5-bedroom house, only paying $300 a month each. Like, I'm about to just move to Texas or something, because it's like so hard to make it on your own. I mean, like they raise minimum wage, but everything else goes up too, so it's like kind of like no point. Yeah, well, in order to live somewhere like comfortable and nice, you basically aren't even living there because you're spending most of your time at work to afford to live there.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be working at like at least 40 hours a week, and so you're spending like more time at work than you are at home, and so you're working to pay for this home that you're only sleeping at because you're always at work. So it's like.
But it sounds like you want to work.
Yeah, I like to work. I like to work for what I have. I don't really like to like. I don't know. I don't like to ask people for things, so like I like to have my own things and like work for them. So it's just like I don't know. It'd be nicer to like spend a little bit less money on like all the living costs and instead of just
I don't
trying to
really
work all
see the
time.
point of renting, because like if I had to pay $700 to $800 a month to rent somewhere that I don't own and I could get kicked out of at any point in time. Like if you add $800 a month plus, 12 months a year, that's a lot of money you could have saved to buy property instead of rent property. So, yeah, I don't really see the point of renting property too much if things are so high.
I mean, I'd like to just buy a van and live in a van, but they don't have places like you could publicly park and not get in trouble for it either.
Exactly.
So it's hard. Yeah, it's really annoying. But
Yeah,
Pretty crazy. It's like, how are you supposed to live if you can't afford it?
Yeah, because
You
like
can't.
she's from here and she's lived here her whole life, has a job here. It's not like she's not contributing to the community
have to-
or a part of the community, but they're willing to kick her out of the county because she
I
fell
can't
on hard
sleep anywhere.
times.
Yeah, or else,
Yeah.
and then you have to like pay off those fines before you can find somewhere to live because
you
you
have
owe
all
money.
Yeah, if
it's
we
pretty
don't have
much
money
like
to live
a
in a
setup
house,
for
how do
failure.
we
They're
have
just
money
trying
to
to
pay your
fuck
fine?
They
We're all
just
wage
set you up
slaves.
for failure, honestly. It's
They
like
do, completely.
they'll fine you because you don't have somewhere to live, but how are you supposed to find somewhere to live when you're in debt now because of those fines?
And like, if you can't afford to find a place to live to begin with, like, how do they expect you to be able to pay off the fines that you get for not having somewhere to live?
That's what you guys both said.
But
Yeah.
it's just
it's an endless cycle.
Yes, it is an endless cycle. It's irritating. frustrating.
There are some private rental companies and stuff that work
But even
with you,
camping,
but-
campgrounds, like if I wanted to go to any of the campgrounds around here, it's like $25 a night, you know?
Or
So
you
it's
have
like-
to be 21 and older to
Yeah.
be able to rent there, and you can only stay there for 2 weeks at a time before
Or
you
get
have
a
to
hotel
leave.
room. You have
So
to be
yeah,
21 to get
I'm
the
20 and I can't like
can't
park
rent
my
anywhere.
van at an RV park or anything,
This is
and
not old enough.
yeah, so it's just hard.
I don't understand how like the law of like technically legal age to be an adult is 18,
But you
like,
can't
they
do
also
anything?
restrict 18 and 21-year-olds.
You're doing anything that you need to do to live.
Yeah.
hmm
It's hard.
Yep.
I feel like
So
you
you
guys
talking
have
about
to be
getting
born
together
into
and buying a
wealthy
property
family.
do.
as
Mhm.
like a group instead of two people or one person. I mean, yeah, we don't know anybody like that, but that'd be like the dream, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy though because Seaside, with the way Seaside works, like almost all of the businesses and like gas stations are owned by like one family.
Oh yeah,
And so if you're not born into like a wealthy family, then like you're kind of just like
screwed.
screwed. Yeah, it sucks.
And even that, the only kids that get like any help with college or school are the kids that are in those wealthy families. So like everybody else is just totally fucked for life, kind of. And they just expect you to stay here and work your minimum wage restaurant job for the rest of your life and not be able to afford anywhere to live. The educational
True.
system here is awful.
Like what? How did you? What was your experience?
Well,
Well, I went to, I'm from Illinois, so
Mhm.
Moline, Illinois, and I went to Moline High School for 3 years, and I finished my last year at Seaside High School.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like Seaside High School because
It's a fun school.
it's a fun school. It had less rules, you know. You could go out to eat for lunch. You could have your phone, you know. Like it's a fun school, but as far as like academics go, like there's a lot of stuff
Actual
I
education.
learned that she has no idea what I'm talking about. It's like basic knowledge at my own schools.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
I went to 4 different high schools too. None of them in Seaside. I was in like Coos County and like at one point I was in California, but that was just for a few
We,
months.
Well, Seaside High School, a lot of the money that gets like that the high school has to like use for educational stuff, they put towards sports because we have good sports teams.
That's how it was
So
for my high school
we have
too.
textbooks from like the 80s that we're still using in our school.
And
that
a lot
are
of kids
up to
from
date.
here went to college and then came back from college and was like, I had no idea how hard real school was.
Yes.
Because our school was like so far behind. So then they went to like a real college and they were like,
Mm.
wow, I don't know
Yeah.
anything they're talking
We know
about.
quite a few people
not used
that
to all
have
these
dropped out of
rules.
college after like one term because they're like, wow, I didn't know that this is what school was like.
It's really
Well-
sports
Because
related.
they don't prepare you at all for college or for the real world
Because I was in a
at
speech.
Seaside.
I was in speech and debate. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like the forensics that they used to have like back in the day. And they put zero money towards that, and that taught me all of the social skills I have now. All of like being on camera, I used to be so afraid of that. That taught me public speaking, like everything like I possibly needed to know, but they would never fund any of that. Like we had to do our own fundraisers, we had
Yep.
to do our own things because all of the funds that they like our little tiny school got went towards football or like
Yep.
softball or like all the sports. So it's like it kind of drove me crazy because like the things that actually like mattered and like taught me things that like because I like softball too, but I was more interested in like the like educational like aspects of like speech and debate because we got to travel to different like schools and meet people and speak in front of judges and like it was so much fun. And I ended up like getting offered to go to the Capitol building here in Oregon in Salem
Mhm.
by my principal because like I ended up like exceeding so well in that, and so I ended up speaking on behalf of our school to raise the like educational like the like budget for like all of Oregon pretty much. And that was like super inspiring for me to be able to do, and all of the people like the House Subcommittee of Education was like they left their chairs and came out into the hallway and like shook my hand and like thanked me for coming like and speaking because I was one of the only students that like wanted to go speak. And it was like a really like inspirational experience for me because like they said that like what I had to say actually like mattered to them because like I was in foster care and there was no counselor, there was no funds for a counselor, like no funds for a school nurse, and just like I don't know, it was like they're kind of like idiots about what they spend their money on.
Yeah.
Like it sucks because like we had old textbooks, we had like old school desks and stuff, but like all of their football equipment was brand new.
Yep, every year new equipment.
The football field was like it's just kind of like I don't know. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. They don't fund the art departments. They don't fund like anything of like the
Wow,
drama
like,
and like
no
anything
creativity.
that's
They
not,
don't
like
build
they don't promote
correct
creativity,
buildings
no.
either. we already have an arcade, and then the Carousel Mall built a second arcade with
Instead
like
of something
most
useful
of the
that
same
laser
games.
tag.
You know, they're not. I don't know who's spending
This
the
town's
money
turning into a
around.
carnival and nobody's gonna go anywhere because of it.
Yeah, they don't build things we really need.
Sure.
Basically, like growing up, I've always taught myself to like do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, and so like the fact that like everyone around me was just like absorbed in like these like really unimportant things, like it made me want to like go out and do important things and like actually talk about things that matter, and like express my creativity and like my artistic side, because like I just like witnessed so many people like. I mean, I come from a school where everyone there wore camouflage, like went out hunting, and just like everyone was kind of just like really closed-minded. Not everyone, but most people there. Like I got looked at really weird for dressing how I wanted to because I didn't dress normally, and like, I mean, it was just a really weird experience for me. Like I ended up having like a lot of anxiety, but then I like got through it because I had a really good professional counselor that like the foster care system like hooked me up with, and she ended up changing my life and like just basically like inspiring me so much to just like go out and like change other people's perspectives, because like people just like don't really think about like what's actually going on and like don't care, and it's really sad because
They
like
care about distractions a lot more than the problems.
yeah,
that they're
everyone becomes
distracting
so
you from.
complacent with like how society really is right now, and it drives me crazy.
Uh-huh,
Like literally
it
makes my
does.
skin itch.
know,
Like I'm
Doesn't
just
anybody
like,
care? Nobody
Yeah,
cares. It's
I'm-
crazy.
I don't
like-
think that Seaside prepares people for the world outside of Seaside too much,
No,
because
not at all.
what you have here is you have hotel jobs, restaurant jobs, and very small business jobs. Why I agree with like small businesses, that that's great, because I don't really like corporations, because we live in a corpocracy in my opinion, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it's based
So
on consumers.
small businesses are good, but I don't want to work in a restaurant, and I don't want to be a housemaid. And most of the
There's no
small,
other options.
yeah, the small businesses, like, I mean, that does prepare you with like people skills, but like, it's a small business, so there's not like a million of those same shops willing to hire you right off the bat. So like, once you get out of the restaurant jobs and the hotel jobs here, you can't like take
Can't
that
go anywhere.
many places. You can't transfer too many places with that. And like,
And you
I
can-
wanted to be in forestry and work in the woods and do all this other stuff, but I don't have money for college. Anything I wanted to do required like a 3 or 4 year degree, however you want to put it, and like a shit ton of money. So I don't have the money to do that. So my job, my options here were go to college, which I don't have money for, or at the time transportation to go to, because their college here, their community college, was like offered a transfer, but not like the classes here. And so yeah. Basically, they were like, either go to college, which you don't have money for, because it's kind of like a
I mean,
scam
there's
to
ways
put you in
around
debt.
that too, though.
There's
or-
trade colleges too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got a lot of scholarships
but-
for college.
That's like,
I applied
how
for
many
it.
options does that give you?
Well, like, I mean, I had a lot, like 3 different counselors maybe throughout high school, because like I moved high schools a lot, and the first one I had, he helped me get through like a lot of like psychological issues that I was dealing with, and then the one that I went to after him, she was just the one who really, really inspired me, because she told me about her past and like her like creative like side, and she was an artist and like did all these cool things and like traveled to all these places and like changed a lot of people's lives, and like that inspired me. Like I basically like wanted to be exactly like her. And so like that, she was the first person I had ever met that I was like, wow, like I actually want to be like you, because usually like everyone that was around me, like I just wanted to be the opposite of. And so like when I met her, she taught me like just like simple like meditation skills, and just like, I don't know, like a bunch of different stuff. Like I could go on and on about how amazing this woman is, but like what I basically got out of like the whole entire experience was that like I could really like do anything I want to do, and we all can. Like each and every one of us has the potential to do whatever we want. And so like, I don't know, whenever I talk to people who are kind of just like really complacent with like their life and they don't really like know what they want to do, I just tell them to go out and explore and like discover new things, and then you'll actually like learn like what makes you happy and like what you really want to do, because like you don't really like need college to be happy and succeed in life, because like as long as you're doing something that makes you happy, you don't really like, I don't know.
There's a huge stigma around that.
Yeah.
Around here, like if you don't go to school, then you're basically a failure no matter what you do.
And that's kind of America.
I did go to college for a year, and I applied for a lot of scholarships, and I ended up getting college pretty much paid for me because I worked so hard winning all those scholarships. And then when I got to college, I was just like, wow, this isn't really what I want. You know, I don't want to be sitting in a desk again after 12 years of doing it. Like, I want to be out in the world exploring things and doing things, and that's why I ended up moving cities, because I just wanted to like meet more people. And I lived in a really small town. I knew everybody there, and I like wasn't really friends with everyone because like, I don't know, there's a lot of drugs and stuff in like the town where I'm from, and everyone gets wrapped around drugs. And like I noticed that immediately when I moved here, that like most of the people my age are like getting really like absorbed and sucked into like that life of just like selling a lot of drugs and just like.
It's because of the music industry that everybody's caught up in.
Yeah.
How so?
All of the music that everybody listens to, like our age nowadays, is just about like money, drugs, and sex, and that's it. And that's all that anybody wants to think about, and it's just retarded.
It goes back to the corporations are using musicians. The corporations are buying the musicians to further their product. Like they make it, the musicians promote their drugs like Xanax or lean. You know, those are
alcohol.
Or alcohol, and then they sell
then, like,
those products to kids. They market them, or that it's like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, you know, all that. They pay a famous person. I mean, it's happened a lot, but it's gotten like pretty bad. You know, like
It has gotten pretty
all
bad.
music is now is marketing.
Nothing means anything anymore. It's
So,
just
yeah.
to sell something.
Like when I was younger, I knew kids like 7th grade. One year we were all riding our bikes and hanging around the park, and then they started getting into that type of music, and then next year they were talking about shooting people and popping Xanax and, you know, drinking lean, and that's just how it is.
It's just all that kids care about nowadays,
That
and
is
they
a
don't think
huge
about
stigma,
anything else.
too. Yeah, we literally
You
created,
know.
like, the music industry has created, like,
An
a
addiction.
culture based on addiction.
Yes,
And then there's all
completely.
these, like, people, like, rappers and, like, famous people, like, overdosing. And it's supposed to, like, then there's people starting these movements to, like, not do these drugs. But, like, if you really pay attention, there's still a million artists out there, like, there's more and more coming every day that are, like,
Yeah, I don't know if you know who
that are
like
doing that.
Lil
like,
Pump is, but there's a rapper called Lil Pump, and he has a song that just goes like, all my friends are drug addicts, ooh, popping pills, blah, blah, blah. And like, I went to the middle school the other day, and all the little middle school football players were listening to music like
They were
that.
playing it on the
Yeah, the
megaphone for
the
the
big
like
megaphone
the
for
teachers
the
were
little
playing this
kids,
music for the
and it's
kids
just
on
like,
the megaphone for them to
You
listen
know,
to during practice.
what are those kids, like 11, and they're listening to songs
And
about
they probably don't
popping
even know what
pills
that
and
means, but
killing
when they get
people
older,
and-
they're gonna be like, oh, that's what that means. That sounds pretty cool.
I mean, I don't plan on getting famous for. I play ukulele for myself and for like my own meditative purposes because it makes me happy.
Mhm.
And
It's
like,
relaxing.
if I could like get well enough at singing to the point where I could like maybe go on the streets and start singing or write my own music, then yeah. But I would never really want to be in the spotlight or involved in the music industry like myself. I would love to work for production and film, and like I want to film too. Like I like to work behind the camera. I was in school for media production, and I was like the president of the media like productions like team. So like I don't know, I'm more interested in like video editing and stuff, but like I feel like if I really like wanted to make a difference with my like music, I would mostly just like record it and like make like a really like motivational or inspirational video behind it or something, because like I don't really want to like try to like be famous or
The music
anything.
industry is really messed up.
Yeah.
If you get
Super
into the
messed
music
up.
industry, like if you get past a certain
Like, I don't
level of
wanna be
fame,
rich
then
and
they like
famous.
basically own you at that point.
Yeah, because you have to sign yourself onto a contract, and if you don't follow those rules, then like you're
they're-
screwed.
You're screwed.
Like
But
they'll
are
lose
we-
all your money. They'll keep all your money. So when you sign onto a contract because you're talented, then you're basically
Then-
just signing your life away.
Exactly.
So like I don't really want
You
to be
can't be
famous.
yeah, you can't be your own musician past a certain point.
What if you use
I just play
other
music because
media
I
like
love it.
Bandcamp or SoundCloud?
See, some
or
people
other-
do make it that way, but you
But
have to
there's
be
not,
like
like-
really, really good.
Yeah,
And if you think about
there's
it-
a point where they will like they can blackball your career if they want because they own the media.
And
you
right
know?
now there's like
So
a
they
whole
will get
SoundCloud
you.
rapper generation right now.
Yeah, we do have SoundCloud
So,
rappers, but then
like-
they always end up getting bought out by the bigger record labels.
Yeah.
So
Overdosing.
it doesn't happen very much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad. I don't really like.
Because
wanna know.
we do promote like violence too, like gang banging and all that.
Yeah,
The music
definitely
promotes
our
that pretty
generation
heavy.
is pretty into that
And
kind of
ukulele is
stuff.
like a happy instrument. Like you hear it, it sounds pretty like upbeat and happy, you know. Like so, I just play it just for my own like personal like mood. Like I like it puts me in a good mood, and even when I'm sad, I'll play my ukulele and like I just like to express my like emotions.
I don't know
through
where
it.
you're going with this, like if this is still about the schools or anything,
Yeah.
but I got a lot to say about the government getting
Yeah.
onto and like about what our culture is promoting.
But people
Well-
like look at us and judge us for the way we look
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
think that we're the
my
drug
my
addicts,
tattoos give me a horrible name, but why do I have tattoos? Because I grew up with all my artists having face tattoos. So when I was younger, I tattooed my face because I wanted to be just like all the artists I grew up with.
Yeah.
And then now, like, I mean, it was my choice and I liked them, but our culture influenced me to do that. But then everyone that had them that I was influenced by is also a gangbanger or a drug addict or all this, so I get judged along the lines of those things too. Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna change until we get a mass change of like social consciousness, because everyone's just asleep in our eyes. They don't.
They don't
like,
care about
I want to
anything
know
important.
what qualifies a child to need to like be put in foster care.
Uh-huh.
Because I think I was hearing a commercial on the radio that was for foster care, and he's like, I'm the guy that takes kids that are living in cars away. I'm the guy who takes this kid away,
yeah,
this
that's
kid
like
away.
messed up,
Yeah,
though.
and it's like I'm not sending my kid to school because I think school is to mold you and destroy free thought, so I wouldn't send my kid to school. And maybe I still will live in a car with my kid so I can travel around and show them different cultures, different experiences,
But you
like-
get in trouble if your
But
kid's
yeah,
not
but
enrolled in school.
would they take my kid away from me and send him to foster care because how I'm raising my child? Like even
Your
if my
child?
Yeah, you
my
don't-
child,
it's- you
like
don't
even
really
if my
have that
child's
freedom.
healthy and
Happy and-
not stupid because I'm teaching my child how I think my child should be taught. Could
Just
they
enroll
take
him in a homeschool program.
Yeah, but
Well,
could
yeah,
they?
but
But
still.
should I even have to do that? No, I say my generation is totally
Yeah.
immersed in that and
Completely.
can't. Is probably not going to break away.
No, I don't see
like you
that.
said, like we're the outsiders.
media.
We're the like a lot of adults or older people would like to say that they're like your generation's gonna change things because they talk to us and think like yeah your generation's gonna do something, but it's
most
really
of
like
people our
it's
age
like
are not
yeah
like
it's
us
like we're
at
the
all.
small percentage of the bigger picture, and the bigger picture
Yeah.
is like more immersed and like controlled and brainwashed than they ever have
I
been.
think our generation is the first generation to really grow up with technology and stuff. And I think that's
Yeah.
completely destroyed everybody's
Yeah,
brains.
social media has got a grip on everyone's minds.
And like nobody can think outside of what social
It's a huge
media
distraction
wants
too.
to.
Like,
Yeah,
been-
that's the whole point of it all, is to distract everybody from what's really important and what's
Yeah.
really going on. Like how we were talking about all the Gucci stuff
Yeah.
like earlier, and
And just
how like everybody
politics in
wears
general,
Jordans,
too.
and everybody
Everyone's-
saves all their money for stupid stuff instead of trying to do anything
Yeah,
with their
like
lives.
everyone
on.
buys $300 shoes when they can't pay their rent, or like people are concentrated.
Tanner,
what did
like, what the
what
fuck
the
is that?
president say, what the president
Bought
do,
two
what this
pairs of
politician
Jordans
do,
instead?
But it's like, do those people really make the decisions, or is there a bigger picture? But you can't see past it because they put Donald Trump in position, and he's just like a funny person,
He's a meme
or
on the
yeah,
internet.
or a meme, or someone to make you
I keep
angry.
seeing
and
a
you
bunch
can't
of
get
ads
past
to
it.
impeach him for
Me
the next
too.
voting election.
Yeah, but it
though.
doesn't. It's not going to change anything.
I
They're
know,
all-
because like the vice president, whoever comes in, I don't
So-
know anything about politics.
Yeah,
I don't
pretty
think
sure
our
Biden just
generation's
made
gonna
Trump.
change anything. I think our generation's like the most
make it
controlled
worse.
out of any generation.
Like a lot of adults that I know just completely follow anything that the government says or like tells
Oh
them, and they
my
don't question
gosh,
it
yeah.
whatsoever. It's like
Yeah.
if the
Oh,
media
they'll just
says
sit
that,
back
like,
and watch CNN news
yeah,
all day
you watch,
long,
they
and I'm
watch the
just
news
like,
and you're like,
Facts,
wow, that's
facts.
that's totally true. And
It's
it's like,
not.
Yeah.
no, it's not. Are you kidding me? It's just another media platform.
Like,
It's all
it's really
fake.
But again, that's what kids our age also think
Yeah.
too. Kids our age don't even care.
Yeah,
they don't
seriously.
even care about the politics. Like
yeah, they don't
they'll
even
do
try
whatever
to-
anyone tells them to because they're not even gonna look into it for 5 seconds.
They
'cause
don't want to think for
yeah,
themselves.
they
at
can't
all.
stop
They don't
staring
want
at
to.
their music videos or their screens or anything. What's this celebrity doing? They don't even have time to think about what the politicians are doing. So
But like even a lot of our friends that we've tried to like tell them about this kind of stuff, they're like, no, I don't want to worry about that. Please don't tell me about
that's
this
what
stuff
we get a
because
lot.
I want to be ignorant to this. And we're like, are you serious?
they said they don't want to think about it because it
scares
scares them, or
because
Yeah.
they can't.
Yeah.
I can't do
They're like,
anything
we
about
want-
it.
we
What am I
want
gonna
to
do?
But
be
we
distracted.
can.
We
Like that's
can't.
the thing. We
Every single
actually
person
can
says,
do
"I'm
something
just one
about it. Like if
person,"
we
but
stop
just-
becoming
yeah.
ignorant
I'm
and
just
just
one
like
person.
stop being scared of the real world, because it is a fucking scary thing
Yeah,
like, to
and this
think
is how
about.
it is.
But
You
like
gotta do something about
that's
it.
the reality of it. If you're gonna ignore the stuff that's scaring you, then like
Nothing's ever
it's just
gonna
gonna
change.
get worse. So it's just like
I'm just
oh.
one person.
Wake
what
up!
am I
Yeah.
gonna
Wake
do?
up, people.
But if
It's just
everybody
like-
stopped saying that, then that'd be a lot of people to do some change.
Yeah.